welcome back over to my playthrough for Chaos Child. A pretty decent visual novel that I've been playing here recently. Testing. Test. Yeah, I got a new microphone, if that was not evident already enough from the microphone. Also got a new headset, which is probably less evident, but if you paid attention to any of my plays before, you might notice that these don't have a wire, so nice new little wireless headset there. So yeah, a couple things that came in the mail here today. I'm pretty happy with both of them so far. But I mean, other than that, let's just get right back into it, because if you're here, then you've probably already watched some of the other episodes, so yeah, we'll just get right into it. Yeah, so a murder happened over in the Love Hotel, apparently, allegedly, whatever the word is, and our protagonists are just making their way to try to sneak in, since there's police backup about to arrive, and yeah. So just get myself kind of situated a bit. I didn't say it, but in my heart, I apologized to the Kurusu as I went. Of course, she couldn't hear me, so she didn't say anything. The stairs are over there, though. We went inside the hotel from the rear entrance and hid behind the corner that led to the lobby. This was my first time inside a Love Hotel, and it was a lot less gaudy than I expected. The name was false advertising. There were no fairies, and no one was dancing. Maybe the quiet atmosphere was a selling point, but...
ですから人を早くよこしてください。いや、それは新庄さんに聞いてください。
Just send someone back here. What? No. Ask Shinjo. The quiet was ruined by the sound of a police officer screaming into his phone. He was either confused or just excited, because he kept saying the same things over and over again. Something had happened after all, and something bad enough that he needed backup. This was my chance. If we could get to the scene before the place is overflowing with cops, we might be able to find an unexpected scoop.
はい、それは間違いありません。確認しました。ですがこちらでは判断が。いえ、ですからそういう状態じゃないんです。
Yes, there's no doubt about it. I checked. But I can't decide that on my own. No, I told you. That's not what's going on. Damn it. That cop was in the way. Whether we took the stairs or the elevator, we needed to go through the lobby to get to them. Taku, let's go. Hurry. Dang, Sarika's kind of gutsy. Wait. Serica took me by the arm as if we were a couple and entered the lobby without trying to hide at all. Hey, come on. She ignored me and walked straight for the stairs.
Oi!
Hey! The cop must have seen us because he yelled at us from behind. Shit. He probably hadn't seen our faces. Should we run? No. That would just make us look suspicious.
部屋から出るなと言っているだろう。はい。いえ、すいません、大丈夫です。それより早く応援を。
I told you not to leave your rooms. Yes? No. Sorry. It's okay. Forget that. I need that backup. He started to mumble into the phone. We crossed the lobby without looking back. Don't do anything too crazy.
でもタクの言った通りだったじゃん。ごまかせたごまかせた。
But you were right. We were able to fool him.
びっくりした。
That scared me. That was a close call. My heart was pounding so loud that the noise was making me sick. Could he not tell that we were high school students? No. Even if he only saw us from behind, he'd be able to tell by our uniforms. Why didn't he arrest us? Maybe he was panicking so much that the thought never even occurred to him.
てとどうしようか。
Okay. What's the next step? Serica let go of my arm and turned toward me. That's right. Now wasn't the time for thinking about other things.
外から見たあの場所が現場かどうかはわからないけど、とりあえず3階から当たろう。そこが外れだったら他の場所を見ていく。警察の応援が来たらそこで切り上げ。
We don't know whether or not that room on the third floor is what we're after, but we should start there. If that doesn't work, we try other places. Once the police backup arrives, we leave.
でも警察の様子から見て、やっぱり何か事件があったんだ。絶対に取って帰ろう。
But from the way that officer was acting, something was definitely up. We need to get photos before we go.
オッケー。
Okay. It was quiet. The policeman's voice was still drifting up the stairs, but it only made the quiet seem more oppressive. Just like he'd said, the customers had probably been told not to leave their rooms. It was too late for it to matter now, but I was starting to feel a little scared. Come to think of it, if something had happened, maybe the killer was still here?
そういえばタク、まだのんちゃんと喧嘩しちゃってるんだね。
Hey, Taku, you're fighting with no one again, aren't you? Serica's voice was relaxed. I was grateful. I'd take any opportunity to relieve this tension.
喧嘩ってわけじゃないよ。
Wasn't really a fight. No. Maybe it was.
でもまだクルスって呼んでるんでしょ。気持ちはわかるけど、なんとかならないかな。
But you're still calling her Kurusu, right? I know how you feel, but isn't there something you can do? Until half a year ago, I'd called her Nono, her first name. After the incident that had caused me to leave the dorm, I'd never called her that again. As long as I kept calling her Kurusu, she'd keep being mad at me. It must have been hurting some important part of her.
タク。
Next thing I knew, we were on the third floor. Serica had gotten ahead of me at some point and was poking her head around the corner and into the hallway.
誰もいないみたい。
Nobody's here, I think.
よし。
Good. I took out my phone and got ready to record. As soon as I went into the third floor hallway, I found myself holding my breath. My heart was pounding even louder than when the cop had yelled at us. I tried to control myself and looked down the corridor. The rooms must have been very big because the gap between the doors was large. The floor was red, sinking into black as the hallway stretched away. I could hear the unpleasant sound of blowing air. They must have had the air conditioning on. There were no windows and there wasn't a lot of light, so the hallway looked pretty creepy. But there was nothing out of the ordinary about it otherwise. But still, it was strange. The air felt solid. It felt like someone would jump out from the shadows the second you let your guard down, or perhaps that there were traps scattered everywhere along the floor. For a second, the floor seemed to be stained with blood, but I shook that image out of my mind. What was this? It was like the fear you feel in the darkness at night. Was it just because there was so little light? No. It was worse than that. It felt like someone was watching me and enjoying my unease. It was like they were peering deep into my heart. I almost jumped off the ground with a start. Huh? What's wrong? Don't just talk to me like that. You scared the hell out of me. It's nothing. Hey, isn't this kind of weird? I gestured with my head down the hallway. Serika looked past me into the darkness.
そりゃ暗いからなんか不気味だけど雰囲気作りとかじゃないの?
Well, it's creepy because it's so dim, but isn't that just to set the mood?
Huh?
Oh yeah, people are trying to bang here, huh? Was it? Was that all? Was I being too sensitive? Hey, Serika, does this put you in the mood? I tried flipping the light switch on the wall next to me, but nothing happened. Maybe the bulbs were burnt out, or maybe it wasn't the switch for this hallway at all. Damn it. This wasn't 1407 or something. I turned around. The only person there was Serika. No one else was looking at me. I took some time to make sure of it before I spoke. Let's go. Yeah. Serika nodded cheerfully and stayed behind me as we walked deeper into the hallway. I remembered the location of the window I'd seen outside. It was probably deeper in the hall, the furthest one back or the one before it. It's probably one of those two. I walked as silently as I could down the long hallway toward the last rooms on the left side. With every step I took, I could feel the sensation of the hallway floor through the bottom of my heels. It was like I was being forced to think about nerves that I'd never used. My body felt very tense. I didn't see any cops in the hallway. Usually they'd at least leave one person here at the scene. Was this the wrong floor? We reached the second to last door, room 306. What do these mean? Oops. I listened carefully, but didn't hear anything revealing. Just the quiet rumble of the air conditioner. Is there a peephole? Come on. This is a love hotel. Oh, right. Hey, what are you... Knocking? You can't What if someone really answered the door? Wait! There was a loud sound. I quickly glanced around to see if anyone heard what Sarika did. What
開
Sarika
かない
did.
ね。鍵をこっそり借りてくればよかったかな。
It's not opening. Maybe I should have borrowed the key. There was no answer from inside. No one was there, probably.
タク、どうしたの？
Toku? What's wrong?
いや、いい。
No. Never mind. Damn it. It felt kind of ridiculous for me to be so serious.
警察もいないし、この階じゃないのかもな。
The police aren't here either. Maybe it's not this floor. I flinched back at the sudden noise. What? Was that the sound of breaking glass?
隣からだったよな。
It was from the next room over, right? She was clinging to my back in surprise, with her hands on my shoulders.
多分奥でしょ？
I think so. It came from further down, right? Sarika pointed to the next room. We stood there for a moment. The violent sound must have scared her because Sarika's easygoing mood had totally vanished. But we waited a while and nothing more happened. There were no voices or sounds of struggle. The hallway was the same as ever. But was I imagining it, or was the hall a little darker than before?
戻った方がいいか。
Should we go back? Sarika didn't answer my question. She didn't seem afraid, but she had a serious look on her face as she stared down the hallway. Maybe something had happened and the killer was still there? No, wait. I needed to think about this rationally. There was an officer on the first floor who'd called for backup. Usually, when a call came in, the police never came there alone. There was always more than one. I'd found that out for myself during my reporting, so I was sure of it. So there had to be another officer at the scene. The killer couldn't just be hiding there. If there was any chance of that, the cop wouldn't have just told us to go back to our rooms. Did the killer break the glass during a struggle? No, that didn't make sense either. If there was any chance of them being able to do that, would that officer have gone downstairs? He'd probably gone down there to tell the front desk not to let anyone else in. Damn it. I had no proof. But it should be okay. More than anything, I hadn't taken any photos yet. Ugh. I jumped, literally, when I heard the sudden sound. It was a very strange sound, one that didn't belong here at all. I looked and saw that Sarika had gotten so nervous she'd taken out her Garo Froggy Garoro strap and started to play with it. She probably didn't even know she was doing it. I softly poked her with my elbow. I motioned for her to keep quiet, and she seemed confused, but then she realized what she was doing and quickly put the strap back in her pocket. As soon as she was done, I looked down the hall once more, all the way to the front of the room. We should head there. I tried to steel myself, then checked over my shoulder once more to make sure no one was there. I started to walk forward, very carefully. I was afraid of making even the slightest sound. Sarika followed me wordlessly, with her hand on my shoulder. I grabbed her hand with my free hand. The other was holding my smartphone. She squeezed it tight. The feeling of her fingers kept me strong as I walked forward. The next room. Room 305. The room at the far end of the hallway. Just like room 306, it had a plain old door, but it felt like it was exuding an intense pressure.
ここからだよね。
This is where it came from, right? She was asking about the sound.
多分な。
I think so. I answered, despite not having any proof at all. We waited, but still heard nothing. I looked around once more to make sure no one was there, then put my ear up against the door. And then I heard a small sound. It was the sound I'd heard outside, the sound from the windows, like a music box playing. It was relaxed and peaceful, even if we weren't, and played the same tune over and over.
この部屋だ。窓が開いていた部屋。
This is the room. The one with the open windows. Sarika was looking at me.
開く？
Will it open? No. That's... I hesitated, but she put her hand on the doorknob.
ダメ。
Nope. She seemed relieved, but a little upset. I knew exactly how she felt. I felt the same way. I moved away from the door. I would like to take some photos before I left, but... Huh?
今、鍵の音しなかった？
Did you just hear the sound of a lock? Yeah. That was what it sounded like. We were too confused to move. There was no sign of anyone coming out. I slowly touched the doorknob. It turned. The door was unlocked. How? As if guided by all the strange things that were happening, I pushed the record button on my smartphone. I gripped the doorknob tighter. A voice in my mind told me to stop, to go back, but it was wiped out by the sound of the smartphone recording starting and the door slowly opening. The more it opened, the less I was able to ignore my curiosity. It felt like something besides Sarika was pushing me forward as I opened the door. That song was playing in the dimly lit room. All the lights were off, but the sun outside was streaming through the open window. Its light was very weak. The curtain in front of me, which partitioned off a part of the room, was blocking the light. I gulped and realized my lips were dry. I ran my tongue over them to wet them a little, and then I realized my heart was pounding. The sound was so loud I thought my heart might have somehow moved up into my ears. It seemed to be beating out some bizarre rhythm, and it was making me sick. I forced myself to swallow my saliva and hoped it would keep me from throwing up. Then I took a slow step forward. I held up my phone to record what I was seeing, and then I realized something. That curtain wasn't partitioning the room. It was a bed. There was a raised spot off the floor with a circular bed surrounded by a curtain. The light was streaming out from behind it. The windows we'd seen were on the other side of it, and the song seemed to be coming from there as well. Crap. It was too dark. I went to flip the nearby light switch, then forced myself to stop. No. I couldn't touch anything in the room. Some kind of crime must have taken place here. But I was scared to go any deeper into the darkness. My shoes made my steps loud against the floor. There was no response. Only the relaxed melody. I gave a signal to Sarika, who was still behind me, and went deeper into the room. What? For a moment, I just...
なんか金属がきしむ音みたいな。
I thought I heard the sound of creaking metal. It felt like I was hearing it between the gaps in the music box's melody. But there was no change that I could see. No one jumped out. Nothing was moving. There was just the sound of the music box. I looked from one part of the room to another to make sure nothing was amiss. And then I slowly moved forward. Oh snap. Someone was lying on the floor. When my eyes adjusted to the gloom, I saw a police officer and a woman? The officer was lying up against the bathroom, with his legs splayed and his head drooping. The girl was lying on the floor face down. They showed no sign of noticing us. No, that wasn't right. The glass behind them was shattered into 1,000 pieces.
やばい。
Crap. The second I understood what was going on, the hand holding the smartphone started to shake. Crap, crap, crap. I could see a little blood dripping off the police officer's head. I spun around as I heard the sound. The warmth drained from my face in an instant, and my whole body shivered. Someone was sitting on the bed. I staggered back and slammed into Serica.
逃げよう。早く。
Let's get out of here. Now. But I couldn't move. My hand was frozen as it pointed the smartphone towards whoever was behind the curtain, and it wasn't doing what I told it. Damn it. I took a step back, tripped, and then fell to the floor. My lungs weren't working right. The silhouette moved a little, and I flinched. No, it didn't move. The bed was rotating. Whoever was behind the curtain showed no sign of noticing us. They didn't budge an inch.
何なんだよ。
What the hell is going on here? Taku, the door won't open. Serica's voice sounded like it was far away. I ran back to the entrance and slammed myself into the door. It wasn't opening. It wasn't opening.
なんで開かないんだよ。
Why won't it open? I don't know. Serica yelled back at me. Why? Why? Serica screamed as she slammed against the door. I helped her try to batter it down. But it didn't work. It was like trying to batter down a wall. Suddenly, I heard a knock at the door. I reflexively jumped away without thinking. It was coming from this door. The knocking was rhythmic and constant. It was just a knock at the door. But my whole body started to shake. Someone was on the other side of the door. Someone was knocking. It definitely wasn't the police. I felt as if my sanity was boiling away, melting out from the soles of my feet on upward.
ダメだ。ダメだ。
No. No. Don't open that door. Right. Go out the back.
窓から何とかして逃げよう。
Let's use the window. I grabbed Serica's hand and ran to the back of the room. And fell silent at what I saw. Huh? No. What was that? The curtain was open. There was a man there, sitting. No. He was moving slowly. The bed was moving in time to the sound of the music box. An eerie sound came from where the wire wrapped around his neck. The wire was hanging down from the ceiling, choking him. His face was all puffed up, and a color I'd never seen before. His pants were wet, and the stain extended to the bed itself. The smell of piss and shit hung in my nose. He wasn't alive. He was dead. What the hell is this? Why was he dead? Did he suffocate? Why was the curtain open? And what the hell was he doing? Why was he dead? My right hand moved without me realizing it. Huh? I needed to use the window to escape, but I pointed my phone's camera at the body instead. Huh, dude? We need to get out of here. The body spun, slowly. Each time it went around, the wire made an awful sound and dug deeper into his neck. It had dug in so deep by now that the man's neck was the size of my wrist. The skin must have been broken because it was bleeding a little. What am I doing? Serica was right next to me, but her voice sounded far away, like she was talking through a telephone. I needed to get out of here, but I couldn't stop the filming. Why was I doing this? Why was he dead? The wire dug deeper and deeper into his neck without waiting for me to come up with an answer. The body turned away from me. I could see the back of his neck. The flesh around the wire was swollen red and black. I heard a muffled sound, like something hard snapping inside of a bag. The head slumped just a little. His neck had just broken. That must have been the sound of the neck breaking. Doc, let's get out of here. I could hear Serica's voice. Get out of here. Get out of here. That's right. I need to get out of here. My body moved as I heard another sound. I spun around. Oh. I screamed. And then I heard something from behind me. I don't know what I did, but the next thing I knew, my whole field of vision had turned red. Then I felt something like a ball hit me. Before I could understand what it was, everything faded to black. September 30th, 2015, Wednesday. Can we save here? My eyes are getting a little tired, so we're gonna call that a video. This has been a pretty crazy episode. They managed to get in, and that was almost a jump scare there at the end. I'm gonna check out this tips list. I keep seeing things pop up. 1407, 2007 American horror movie about a hotel room where all the occupants commit suicide, based on the work by the master of modern horror, Stephen Queen. Oh, 1407, right. I was wondering. I knew what it came from, but yeah, no, that's 1408. Generation Madness, Bluetooth. Alright, so these are just exactly like it says. They're tips. Eskimo. A girl with a sadistic personality who enjoys inflicting pain on others, extremely dangerous. Hiss, short for hysteric, originally a term used in psychology, but here used to refer to a short-tempered person who can't control their emotions. Interesting. Alright, well, like I said, otherwise we're going to call this a video, and I hope you continue to follow along with me on this story here. Yeah, I still have very little clue on what's going on still, how this all connects to the earthquakes and whatnot, but you know, I like the art, and I like the story, and I like the characters, so yeah, I guess we'll catch you guys next time, and until then, take it easy.